It's that moment when you get home from hitting the mother load of markdowns at your local supermarket. You put it all out on your kitchen table and realize how much you actually purchased and think, how am I going to use all this before it goes bad? This exact scenario happened to me just 2 days ago. I hit Kroger at just the right moment, and boy, did I buy.
The mother load.
I did. And I got home and I thought, boy, that's a lot more than it actually looked like in the grocery cart. So it does happen. But thankfully, I actually have a system that I use that helps me to get through perishable items before they go bad. And I wind up with that sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach. You know the one I'm talking about, where you realize that something has gone limp or brown or slimy or smells bad, and you have to scrape it into the garbage can thinking, I just wasted good money. So we want to help you to avoid that today by sharing with you the steps I take to menu plan using supermarket markdowns. If you don't know us,
I'm Larry.
And I'm Hope.
And we're from Under the Median, where every week we bring you videos on practical frugality.
All right, so on Monday on this channel, we did a video on backup power sources that were inexpensive. It was definitely Larry's jam. So he did a lot of the talking on that video. This is definitely my jam. So he's going to hold up things. He's going to occasionally interject a comment, and he's going to give like thumbs up or thumbs down in reaction to some of the things that I am showing you that I got at the grocery store. Before we get into it, let's take a look at exactly what was involved in this grocery haul. Here are some photos showing exactly how large this grocery haul was. Now, to be clear, everything that you're seeing was either a markdown, and there were just a couple, 2 or 3 things that were on sale, and we're going to show you each of the items. Now, on the table in front of me, I didn't put the whole grocery haul on the table.
Wouldn't
frankly,
fit.
Would not have
Wouldn't
fit.
No.
I grabbed a sampling of each of the types of items that I was able to find for the markdown. We're going to go through each of them, and then I'm going to give you some ideas on how to use these items and how to like stage them in your kitchen so that you are going from the most perishable to the least perishable items. All right, let's get started. So the first thing that you want to do when you bring a haul like this home, believe it or not, is make a complete list of what was included in the haul. I made myself a list. Let me find it here. All right, so Larry's going to show this on the screen for you. That shows you exactly what was purchased in this markdown haul, what I paid for each item, and what my total was when it was rung out at the checkout counter. And it actually took up the entire, like, you know, the little, what do you call that? The
ramp that you put it on?
Yeah, the ramp. Yeah.
The loading ramp?
Yeah. It took that whole thing up. It was like from bumper to bumper, it was that entire area. So it was quite a bit of items. Now, so if we start at the top, let's just start with the items that were on sale. Larry is a huge fan of this.
Oh, yeah. Grapes.
We got grapes. They were on sale for 99 cents a pound. Now, my goal has been in the past and still remains to purchase fruit when I can find it for 99 cents or less a pound. Now, tell me in the comments section, do you set goals for yourself when it comes to specific areas of your grocery budget? Because I do. And I think it's a really good idea to think, how much am I willing to pay for fruit? Of course, you want to eat fruit. It's really good for you, right? And you want to buy it, but you want to make sure you're not overpaying consistently for fruit. So do you set that price where you say, this is my buy price? We call that our buy price. So my buy price is 99 cents a pound or less for fruit. It's getting a little bit harder to do, but I'm still able to do it. Mm-hmm. All right, so I got 5 pounds of those grapes. Now, the other item that I got, Larry's a big fan of this too, is Kroger natural peanut butter. This was, I don't think it was on sale, to be honest with you. I got to be honest, all right? This feels weird to say. I didn't look to see if it was on sale because I had a coupon to get it for free, but I don't think it was on sale. This is my favorite peanut butter in the whole wide world. You know why? Because it's got 2 ingredients in it. It is peanuts and salt.
That is it.
That's it.
That is
Kroger
pretty
natural
good.
Peanut butter, y'all. If you're looking for peanut butter that doesn't have a lot of other stuff added to it. And I think those 2 items were the only things that I bought that were not on Markdown. Now, one of the other things I bought on Markdown, Larry did like this too.
Oh yeah,
This
we
is-
actually ate this last
I was going to
night.
say, so if he opens it up,
We had
it's empty.
we had a date night last
That was
night.
our date
The
night.
kids were all gone.
the kids.
Bye kids. Bye bye.
The kids were gone for the evening. This was our date night treat. This and some salad.
It was good.
And yeah, it was actually
really
really
good.
good. And it was marked down here. I'll turn it over so y'all can see.
$1.49.
It was marked down to $1.49. It's
Not
a plant-based pizza, in case you can't see that.
Gluten
It
free.
is gluten-free, plant-based pizza.
Yeah, and it
So-
fit in our little toaster oven. So
It was not that big, but
No,
between the two of us, it was actually
was good.
it was the right size for a special date night.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's move on to some of the items that I actually was able to get on Markdown and talk about some of those items. Now, I mentioned creating a list of everything that you got in your Markdown haul so you can kind of track it and know when you're going to use it. But the other thing that's really important about this haul sheet is to make sure that either you physically, I like to do it physically, or on your list, make sure that you have all those items arranged in order from least perishable to most perishable. Let me give you an example. These baby Bellas that I was able to get, this is 16 ounces of Bellas for 99 cents, an unbelievably low price. But mushrooms, guys, maybe a couple of days, 3 days, if you're lucky, you have to use them up pretty doggone quickly. So very, very perishable. Whereas some of the other items I purchased are going to last for a good long time. So just make sure that you arrange those in some fashion, either on the table or on your list here, in order from least perishable to, or most perishable to least perishable. Shortest shelf life to longest shelf life. We'll put it that way.
The other question you might want to address is, can I freeze anything that I bought? Like, for instance, bread products, bread, that obviously can be frozen.
Yeah, and we did get some bread. Larry can hold that up there.
Yeah, this is hot dog buns, 59 cents. That's a good price. I don't know what it was originally, but that's excellent.
I think that was half price.
And the stop date on that is several days from now. It's November 1st, and this is October the 30th, so they actually gave a little lead on that stop date.
Now, I am the first to admit that these bread products are not what I would term as healthy. Okay.
No, the
They
white bread.
Rich white flour.
Yeah.
They are not the healthiest, but they were
they're
pretty
cheap.
doggone cheap. So you always got to balance that healthy with cheap and kind of know what your deal breakers are as far as items that you will and will not buy. Clearly for me, if the kids are going to make peanut butter sandwiches or something, then,
Oh, yeah.
and rich white bread is going to be okay with me.
Yeah, so both of those, 59 cents. That's a good price for those.
So we have our list of everything we bought. We have it arranged in some fashion from most perishable to least perishable. And then we also have determined which of these items can we actually freeze. There's one more thing, one more piece of the puzzle you really need to know before you actually start the process of figuring out how you're going to use these items before they go bad, and how you're going to menu plan with them. And that is, you have to know what you already have on hand. I've shown this a lot, perishable food inventory. I fill out one of these sheets once a week. Usually on Thursdays, I'll go through the refrigerator, see what's still in there, and determine which items I really, really need to use up right away. Perishable food inventory. In this case, I actually have quite a bit of perishable food on hand, but one of the things that I know I have on hand that I really need to start using up are potatoes. You see this 5-pound bag of potatoes? All right, lean in, guys. 88 cents. I know, crazy. They were on sale for 3 days at my local Hy-Vee. 5 pounds of potatoes for 88 cents for 5 pounds.
And they still had some left by the time Hope got to the store.
And they had some left when I left too. They had quite a few on hand. Now, those potatoes will last a long time. And please don't spit your tea out if you're drinking tea, all right? Because I bought 30 pounds. That's not really actually as much as it seems. I know it seems like a lot. It does. But, potatoes will last a long time. They've got a pretty good shelf life. Thanksgiving is coming up, and I know we're going to have a house full for Thanksgiving. So a lot of those potatoes are actually going to be used for our Thanksgiving feast. So that was why I bought so many of them. But yes, I have 30 pounds on hand, so I know I'm going to want to be using some of those up in the next couple of weeks. And now you're going to start brainstorming exactly how to use the ingredients that you just bought. I'm going to start from the item that is the most perishable. Now, truthfully, if I chose not to cook anything with these, Larry would eat a handful of them every day.
I would, yeah.
He
I love
loves portobello mushrooms. Tell us in the comment section, do you like portobellos as much as Larry does? However, I wanted to use this as my example because I think it shows that one of the things you want to think about when you look at an ingredient, these are great for salads, right? You're just going to slice them, you're going to put them in salads. But most ingredients are good for so much more than that. And you need to learn to think a little bit outside of the box when it comes to the ingredients that you're going to be using. So portobellos, we're vegan. So, the first thing that comes to my mind is these are a great meat substitute. Sometimes what you want to do with items, and other times you're thinking, I really don't know exactly what I want to do with this ingredient. Here's a great place to start. Supercook.com. Supercook, we've mentioned it before.
Yeah, we have.
It's a great there's a downloadable app. You can also use the online version. You're going to be able to plug in ingredients that you have on hand, and it's going to match it up with a whole bunch of recipes that have those ingredients in it. I love it. There's even a place where you can tell it, like if you have a keto-based diet or a plant-based diet, if you're a vegetarian, you can plug those values in and it will only give you recipes that line up with those criteria. I absolutely love supercook.com. I'll make sure there's a link to it, guys, in the description of the video. Now, here's an alternate way that you can do it. And I actually like this way of doing it. I call it my recipe inspiration worksheet. The reason that I really like this is because it allows me to track different recipe ideas as I'm going through. Because what happens is you start Googling things and you go, I could make this or this or this or this or this. And by the time you get to the fourth this, you're like, what was that first this? And you literally can't remember what it was or where you even saw it. So this worksheet allows you to sort of track those values as you're going along. Now at the top there, you'll see that I have listed portobello mushrooms as the main ingredient that I'm looking to use, and then the terms that I have Googled. Now here's a hint for you. If you're not finding what you really like, just change what you're Googling a little bit and you'll be surprised different recipes will come up. Here's another tip for you. Guys, if you eat plant-based like I do, don't be afraid to Google it without the word vegan or without the word plant-based in front of it, because believe me, we talked about thinking outside the box. You can veganize a whole lot of recipes, right? Those of you that eat meat, a lot of you watch me, even though I eat plant-based, and you say, I'm just going to add a little bit of meat to that, or I'm going to top it with a little bit of cheese. It's easier than you think to look at recipes and make it fit those dietary choices that you have made. Now, this worksheet will help you to track as you're going through, and keeping in mind that you're looking for recipes that also use up some of those other ingredients that you have on hand. And you'll see there, I came up with 4 different ways that I could use portobello mushrooms.
By the way, if you're hearing a little background noise that you're not used to listening to during our videos, our youngest son is cooking his supper because it's supper time and he is very hungry, being a 14-year-old.
He says he's always hungry. Okay, so we have a hungry teen in the kitchen, like just a few feet from us. So if you're hearing pots and pans, it is our son making his menu.
And the good part of this is he knows how to do his own cooking.
There you go. That is like the best part of all.
Let's go through some of the other items and talk about what Hope paid for them. For instance, the salad kits. Hope got, 14 of these? 14. And look at the price, 99 cents. What do these run, about $4?
They run about $3 each.
$3
Now,
each?
once again, that seems like I bought a lot, but whenever you're at the store and you're looking at markdowns, especially if you find an amazing score and think, wow, I just can't walk away from that, consider what is coming up in your future. So I bought these knowing that my 2 sons, one of whom is in there making his supper right now, last night they went to a costume party with a whole lot of other hungry young adults. So they mixed up a couple of these, 3 of these, I think.
3.
And they made a big salad to take with them to the party, and that was their contribution
And they didn't
to
bring
the
back
ever overflowing food bar at the costume party.
And they didn't bring back very much either.
Yeah, so you got to know what's coming up in your future and gauge that as far as how quickly you're going to be able to get through these.
These have become one of our Friday night treats. In fact, with the pizza that we ate last night, we split one of these. Really fun treat.
So,
and really, then Hope doesn't have to do a lot of cooking on a night when she's been busy doing school or other things. So it gives her a night off.
let's talk about that just a sec, because we showed this earlier. It was $1.50. That was 99 cents. So we split one of these and we split one of these. And so it was $2.50 for the food that we had for our date night. And we watched Columbo's.
Yes.
So, which was like the best thing in the world, was just to watch a bunch of Columbo mysteries together.
Oh, yeah.
It was very fun. So that sort of gives you an idea too of how you're going to combine those and figure out what your price is per meal, because I think that also is very important when you're looking at using markdowns. Let's look at some of the other things that we were able to purchase and the price we paid for them. Tzatziki dip is this plant-based tzatziki, in case you're wondering. So the tzatziki dip, 99 cents for that plant-based tzatziki dip. Now, why did I buy? I bought 8 of them. Why did I buy 8 of them? Because that's a whole heck of a lot of these. These freeze. We don't think of tzatziki because it has the cucumber and the onion, and it also has yogurt in it as being something that you can freeze. Now, I'm the first to admit that when I freeze this, and I've done it multiple times, when it thaws, it does change the consistency a little bit. So it makes it a little bit thinner when you thaw it, but I know that. And so with that little bit of extra thinness, it makes a great salad dressing instead of a dip. It really does. You can also drizzle it. If you're going to make the poke bowls, tell me if you guys do poke bowls. We love poke bowls. You got a whole bunch of small containers of stuff out on the table. Everybody picks what they want. You start with a base of rice or some other grains, and then you add veggies, and you add maybe a few peanuts or something on top of it. Drizzling this on top of one of those poke bowls, really, really good and super easy. So I also know that Thanksgiving's coming up, and so I'll be using that for our Thanksgiving feast. Now, remember, as you're going through each of the ingredients, you're making notes on ideas that you have for how you're going to use it. So what else can we use tzatziki dip for? Well, you can get pita bread, and you can use it for making like falafels. So you make falafels, and then you drizzle this over the top of it. You can put it in pitas. So you're making almost like a Greek gyro kind of thing. Somebody's going to tell me if I just said that wrong. I probably did. Around here, people look at this as a Midwest. People go, I want gyro, and I know that's not right. So somebody tell me that Greek specialty. They usually use lamb. How do you pronounce that? You can also use it to top baked potatoes. It makes great. You can also use it to make pasta salad. You can also use it in lieu of mayonnaise when you're making potato salad, which would use up some of my potatoes. So you get the idea how you roll through all of these ideas, keeping track of them and figuring out at the very end exactly which ones you're going to use and the order you're going to use them in. Let's look at some other ingredients. Here we go. This is gold when you can find this, guys.
Yeah, this is Simple Truth plant-based Caesar dressing, and she got that for 99 cents. That is a really good price for that.
Now, it did come from the refrigerated section of the supermarket, so you have to keep it refrigerated, but I was able to get 4 bottles of that Caesar dressing for 99 cents. And once again, Thanksgiving's coming up. I'm going to be using that for some of my Thanksgiving items that I have on our menu. But that Caesar dressing can be used very much in the same way that the tzatziki dip was for many of those same types of recipes. You can just substitute that Caesar dressing.
Another really good item that Hope picked up was this ginger dressing, 99 cents for 16 ounces.
Now, here are the ideas I came up with for this, an Asian-inspired pasta salad. You could also use that as a marinade for tofu. Marinate tofu in this and then bake the tofu off Another idea I had was to throw some potatoes into the crock pot with some Greek seasoning. And then after it's done, just stir some of this into it and serve it hot, much like you would a hot potato salad. Those were the ideas. Tell me in the comment section as I'm going through each of these ingredients, if you think, oh, wait, I know what you could do with that. Tell me in the comment section, because I would love to have kind of a rolling list of ideas of ways that we could use these ingredients, because this is once again sort of that community aspect of each of us learning to think outside the box.
One of our family favorites, Brussels sprouts, 99 cents for 12 ounces.
I love Brussels sprouts. I usually get 3 packages and they were each 99 cents. Our favorite way to do Brussels sprouts, actually there's 2 ways, is to put a little bit of good mustard and a little bit of balsamic vinegar and just a splash of some real maple syrup, and then roast them. Super good that way. But you can also do them in the pan that way and cook them in the pan, and they sort of caramelize really, really good. That's actually, I don't have a whole lot of ideas for Brussels sprouts except those 2 ideas, because that's generally when I'm able to score Brussels sprouts, that's what we do with them because we love it so much.
Reminds me of that Christmas song, roasting Brussels sprouts over an open fire. I mean, it just brings back those memories to me.
If you roasted Brussels sprouts over an open fire, you completely misconstrued the meaning of that Christmas song. I'm just saying.
We're now going to talk about some different uses for hot dog and hamburger buns.
Now, generally people see these and think, well, you put hamburgers on this one, you put hot dogs on this one, but there's actually a lot of different ways you can think about using hamburger or hot dog buns. Now, I got 5 packages of the hamburger buns. We should tell them how much they were.
They were 59 cents.
59 cents each, and then I got 2 of the hot dog buns. And I have to tell you, this is my one regret in this entire grocery haul, is that I did not get more of these. There were a lot more on the shelf, and I was like, I better go a little conservative, and now that I got them home, I kind of wish I'd actually hauled more of the hamburger and the hot dog buns. When you think about buns, think in terms of, especially if they start to get a little dry, you can always cube them, bake them, and make them into croutons. You can also cube them, dry them out, and then you can put them in the food processor and you can make breadcrumbs out of them. You can also slice them and you can bake them with a little bit of onion and garlic powder on them. And you can make, especially the hot dog buns, you can make those into breadsticks, homemade breadsticks. You can also make breakfast sandwiches out of these. I have a recipe. I sometimes make vegan sausages with a little bit of vegan cheese on top, melted. That would be a really, really great breakfast sandwich. You can also take these, toast the top and the bottom separately, and then put pizza seasonings on top, pizza toppings on top. Stick them back in the toaster oven until your cheese is melted and you've made individual pizzas with the hamburger buns. Those are some of the ideas that I came up with literally off the top of my head of different ways that you could think about using hamburger or hot dog buns. Now, what do? You have all of these ideas and probably more that you came up with as we were going through this list of things I was able to get in my haul. What do you do with it after that? After you've got all of your ideas written down, you're literally going to compile all of those ideas into a topical menu plan or a weekly, daily menu plan. And either one works fine. I got to tell you, I've mentioned it several times.
Like topical
menu planning is what I do all of the time because I just like the topical method better. And when you do this and when you plan your use on your menu plan using the items and the ingredients which are going to go bad first, so those with the shortest shelf life, you're going to use those up first, work your way through the week to those with the longer shelf life. You are immediately going to take that off of the table, that feeling of throwing things out because they've gone bad before you could use them. And a real quick reminder of what I paid for the whole grocery haul. It was $44 for everything that I was able to get in that grocery haul. Now, if you're ready to take your weekly menu planning up a notch, and you'd like those menu planning forms, you can get yourself a copy. There's a link in the description of the video. Now, if you want more advice from us on how to stretch what you've cooked in order to make it to go for more than one meal, we gave 20 different ways that we stretch items and stretch recipes to make them last for more than one meal. And that video's right over there if you've not watched it yet.